Zeus with another episode of Shout It Out Loudcast. Episode 21. We're titling this one, I don't know if that's a word, titling. We titled this one, When You Wish Upon a Star. No, it's not all about that song. You will find out. Tom, how the hell are you?
Oh, I'm great. I'm very excited to be part of an episode titled after what's known as the worst Kiss song ever, but this will be a good one.
Yeah. Did you just say, I'm very happy to be here?
I'm happy to be here with Geppetto and Pinocchio.
That was from Coming to America, my friend.
Yes, I know. Of course, you don't need to explain
I know where you were going. I'm like, no. Life good over there in New Hampshire? What's going on?
Yeah. Well, we're both exhausted because the friggin' Bruins are taking over our lives, more so yours than mine.
Yeah. Overtime. I don't get home in these games. By the time I go to Boston, I drop off my net. I don't get home till 1 o'clock, and I'm sure that's really fascinating for you people. But yeah, exciting Stanley Cup playoffs going on.
Yep.
It's taken over a lot of my activity, but still got Kiss on the brain.
That's right. Yep.
I just got back. I was at my daughter's chorus. Isn't that fun? Her 4th grade chorus. There were other chorus groups singing. I heard it was at the junior high. I took the last seat in the back. I'm reading the sheet, reviewing. She finished singing, of course. You have to wait till the end because then they have the group thing so they can suck all the parents in till the end, right?
Yeah.
So I'm reviewing my Kiss list of the night, not paying too much attention. And I see the parents in front of me with probably what is one of the other kids' younger sibling. This kid must have been 7, 8 years old or something. I can hear the dad like looking down at him in his seat, like admonishing him for something. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, what the fuck is that smell? Holy shit, this little kid shit his pants. I'm 45 years old. I'm sitting in the back trying so hard not to fucking bust out laughing in the middle of this chorus. Because this little kid shit his pants.
But the big question is, were the kids singing I Want You during this?
Oh my God. I couldn't, it was like a flashback. And I'm listening to the parents, one yell to the other, like the mom is like, leave him alone. Or the dad's like, what the fuck? I'm like, what the fuck?
Did you shit your pants?
This is just a wet old person fart. It's not like an 80-year-old dropped the deuce or something. It was awful. Awful. Man. And I have to sit there and I'm like, that lap.
Yeah.
The people next to me are like, I'm in the last row, thank God. And I'm just trying not to embarrass myself anymore. Like laughing at this poor little kid who couldn't hold it. Oh. Yes. And it reminded me of I Want You, which is a nice segue into our last episode, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Well, before we get into that, I got one quick little side story too. So, So I've mentioned in the past my son who's in high school. So this afternoon, I was the one responsible for picking him up after school. So usually when I get him, picked him up around about 5 o'clock. There's still a bunch of kids hanging around. He's in high school. So I pull into the lot and he's there hanging with a couple of his buddies.
Do they go, nice car, Mr. Gelati?
Nice car, Mrs. LaRusso.
Okay.
So my son comes up to me with one of his buddies, and he's like, Mr. Gelati, nice to meet you. I'm like, what? Who's Mr. Gelati? I'm like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
But he called me Gelati, Sonny.
Mr. Tom Gugliotti? Gugliotta? Gugliotti?
So he comes up to me. He's like, so my son is like, oh, this is my friend, so-and-so. I'm like, yeah, nice to meet you in person. I've heard about you before. He's like, yeah, I'm your son's friend. I'm the one that listens to your podcast and follows you on Twitter. I was so embarrassed. Like this 14-year-old freshman is like oh, I really like your show and I follow you on Twitter. Meanwhile, all I can think of is the horrible things we have been talking about the last few episodes, and this little freshman in high school must be terrified.
Who's your friend that shit his pants during a concert, and the other one saying some girl had snapper flaps, and
exactly. I'm waiting for this kid to be like, hey, Mom, Dad, one of my best friends from school, his dad's got a podcast. Want to listen to it?
I don't think you should be hanging out with that gelati kid. That kid's trouble.
Yeah, I think that's sexy enough. Like,
yeah, exactly, right? Oh, so, man.
Yeah.
Just bad influences. Still, you know what's great about it? Could still laugh like we're back in college and back in high school.
Stuff never gets old. Yeah.
Oh, exactly.
Yep.
So what were you going to say? How about this last week's episode?
Yeah, last week's episode got a ton of feedback, and rightfully so. We talked about Rock and Roll Over.
Yeah, another streak, though, buddy.
What's that?
Best downloaded episode by far.
Yeah, yes.
I would say by maybe 10, 15% higher than the last one we did. We are constantly growing, which is amazing, and we're extremely grateful to you people out there.
Yes, thank you all very much, very much. So we did our poll, our Tuesday poll, and it was what's your favorite song from Rock and Roll Over? So Twitter allows you to do 4 options. We did Mr. Speed, Calling Dr. Love, Love 'Em, Leave 'Em, and then other comment. 180 votes. I was actually shocked by this. 40% of the votes, the winner with 40%, Mr. Speed.
That's the Sonny effect.
Yeah, exactly. Seriously, it's a Russian interference into the election here. But yeah, and then we got – so I was happy to see that because I know, everybody knows that Zeus and I love Mr. Speed, but I was happy to see, a lot of that feedback as well. We got a couple of our listeners. We got Jeff Reynolds here, big Kiss fan, follower of the show. Rock and Roll Over, best album of the 70s, perfect production, no filler. Even Love Gun and Destroyer are great, but song for song not as strong. Keep up the good work, boys. Thank you, Jeff. Good stuff. We love hearing that. And I think we said that Jeff. Too. I think we said that last week about Rock and Roll Over. Just song for song, top to bottom. It really is like it's
not
amazing.
Much of a letdown.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, the weakest I thought is See You in Your Dreams, and it's not catastrophe Kiss.
Right.
Like the episode title we have tonight.
Right.
But
yeah, then we got
solid.
Yeah, and then one of our other listeners, Deuce, same thing. Absolutely no filler at all. It doesn't have Then She Kissed Me or Great Expectations on it. Every song is solid. So just a lot of good feedback. Another one here from our buddy Daryl Alber, who's always active with us. Favorite Kiss album, killer production by Eddie Kramer that really gave the album some punch. After Bob Ezrin gave them a more layered sound on Destroyer. That's good analysis. Another one of our new followers, Jake Campbell, one of his top
Jake,
3
who used to work for Jake?
Who, I was just going to say
I used to work for Moish. I work for Mayflower.
I don't go with that.
They didn't like that because I popped those wheelies.
Yeah, Rock and Roll Over, top 3 Kiss album. It's got that dirty rock and roll sound. Yes, agreed, it does. I love it. So yeah, it's just some of the feedback
albums, right? Like the first original albums.
Yeah, exactly.
That sound.
Yep, and he did mention that too. Yeah, I didn't finish reading that. He did mention that too. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of good feedback. And again, we that's what we do this for. We do this for you guys to get involved and encourage people to talk Kiss.
That's how we do this for the money.
We do it for the money. Yes, I just got a check 3 cents. Yeah.
We didn't get any check, people. So what's going on in Kiss World?
Well, we'll start off with the easy, simple topic here. So Kiss kicked off the European leg of their tour. They are in, oh God, where the hell are they right now?
They just finished up in Vienna, I thought.
Thank you. Vienna.
I mean, mind you, they're ahead over there in time-wise.
Yeah.
And looks like their European tour has started off solid.
Yeah, and one big change that I was pretty shocked to see, and needless to say, I'm glad they didn't make this change in the States, but as part of their encore, they removed Shout It Out Loud. Excuse me, take that back. They removed Do You Love Me from the encore and threw in Crazy Nights.
Oh,
what do you think? What do you think of that, buddy?
Oh, terrible. First of all, I think it's because Crazy Nights had a good response in Europe.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Yeah, I think you're right.
Met her in Niagara Falls. Like, it's just one of those things that over there, for some reason, it did well. It was a big hit specifically in England, the song and the album. So I get it. You know, they want to put it over there. I can't imagine it being difficult for Paul to do. It's not a really, even though it's off crazy, even though it's off the Crazy Nights album, which is a very high pitched Paul Stanley. I don't think that song particularly is hard.
I think the bridge to that song leading up to the chorus, I think his voice starts to raise a little high.
That's got to be tracks. He's not singing that.
Well, wait a minute. Let's not get into that, Stuart. Come on now.
Those are fighting words, calling me Stuart. And bozo. Anyways, go on.
No, I was just going to say Crazy Nights is just a fucking terrible song. It's just a terrible song. There's no need for that to ever be in the set list, especially taking out one of my personal favorites, Do You Love Me? But just I think you are –
turn it up to 10, Tom, would you?
Life is a radio. You should turn it up to 10. Agreed. But I think you're right. I think it did have some European cachet. But it's just weird. I was looking forward – not for us personally, but I was surprised that there weren't any other changes to the set list. Just that one.
Oh, they're going to take out God of Thunder and put in She's So European.
See, that'd be smart move.
Right?
She's so Vienna.
That'll work. Yeah. I just love that. I think that's your first time singing on this podcast.
Oh, it won't be the last. It won't be the last.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. Anything else?
Oh, are you ready? Brace yourself, people.
Brace yourself, fool.
Exactly. Your buddy Ace recently came out and had some hot topic words to say. Let's read it. Let's the quote. Ace Frehley was talking to that world famous Oklahoma rock radio station KATT. Forgive me if I offend any of our Oklahoma listeners if we have any. So he says, quote, I think it's a sad commentary that Kiss performed in New York and didn't sell out Madison Square Garden. When I was in the band, we used to do 3 nights there. I don't understand. I've offered my services and they just haven't made the decision to bring me back. And that's okay because I'm having a lot of fun as a solo artist. But I am also concerned about the fans as well. I want to give the fans the biggest bang for their buck, and they're just not getting it at this juncture. Go.
And they'd be getting it if you were up there. Hey, wait, I thought we were playing Rocket Ride. They'd be getting there if you were up there, stumbling around, forgetting the lyrics, showing up late, fucking up everything. That's what they'd be getting? I don't think so, fuckface. He's really starting to fucking annoy me. Yeah, really. He is taking – it's almost like he's living in a bubble and he only listens to the Eddie fucking – I almost called him his name. And he only listens to the Stewarts of the world that fucking feed him this shit.
It's exactly what's happening.
Dude, you're doing clubs. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Kiss is still selling out. Kiss is still doing over like what? What was it average? Like 12,000, 13,000?
Yeah, depending on the venue. Yeah,
that's what they were averaging in their heyday.
Yep.
In the 70s, 13,000 a show. What the fuck is your problem? They don't have to deal with you. They're fucking happy. They don't have to deal with bullshit or worrying if you can handle the solo or if you're fucked up or you're forgetting where you are. They're happy. You want to come in and do a couple songs to them? Go ahead. They're not fucking putting a concert tour with millions on the line and trusting your ass to do it. Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, look, there's two factions in the Kiss camp, okay? We know this. There's the people like us who, we love the original lineup, but we've moved on. We've accepted what is Kiss today in 2019. We've seen them twice. We love the show, okay? Then there is the Stewart crowd, Okay? The people that sit at home and they jerk off with their Ace Frehley doll from 1978 and they watch Kissology Volume 1 and they sit there and they get all gooey over the Parasite solo. Those are the people that can't fucking move on and enjoy the band for what it is. And I think you're right. I think Stewart is feeding into this mentality because when Ace talks, he sounds like Stewart. But he's
not looking into the facts. He just heard somebody said that they didn't sell it out. He fucking jumped on it.
Right.
And why do you take a dig at it? You know what they're saying right now? You're just hardening their position. Fuck you. Your price is dropping. The more you open your mouth up, your price will drop if we're going to ever bring you back at all.
Well, like you said,
fuck off.
He looks like a fucking bozo because he's not even talking, like you said, he's not even talking factual. It's really sad. When I was there, we did 3 shows, and
dude, they probably did that once.
Right.
In the heyday, sold out 3 in a row. And I mean, who knows? Who has those facts right off the top of their tongue? But here's the thing that I want to kind of say. A day or so ago, fell down the YouTube rabbit hole, and they must know you angry watch shows or you angry listen to certain people.
Yeah.
Angry YouTube Eddie Trunk stupid shit. Stewart shit. And it's always some asshole that puts it up and goes that Stewart loses his mind over this.
Yeah.
Stewart loses it over this. And so it was about Ozzy and Black Sabbath's reunion tour. And I think the guy's name is Bill Ward, who wasn't on the last Black Sabbath tour.
Yep.
And it was supposed to be their farewell, and he was the only one of the 4 members that wasn't there. And that Ozzy made some sort of regret. I regret he couldn't join us. And he's like, what fucking you regret? You could have had him. You're the one who you and your wife didn't have him on.
Yep.
You could have had them. Dude, everything's a business agreement. There certain comes a point in time, especially when there's musicianship involved. How much do I want to have this guy on? And if he can't keep up, now we have to have certain things, maybe a guy in the back playing drums too, things like that for Peter or Ace. How much do I want to put up with? There's a certain dollar amount. You're not in the band. If you leave the band, you don't come in as a member. We will pay you your paid service. So he was going off on this and, he's blaming Ozzy about it. It's your fault. Yeah, that's why he's not there. How the hell can you? Well, maybe he does regret it. Maybe Ozzy had a fucking change of heart and he feels bad. Shit, maybe we could have done a little bit. Maybe I was a little bit too hard. Maybe I could have brought him in. Maybe we can do one more show. So, okay, great. Why do you have to fucking on? And what does he do in the middle of that? What do you think he did?
Go ahead.
He brought in Paul and Gene. Well, right. Just like them.
Yep.
You got Paul saying, Gene saying they can't have Ace. They will offer him something that's respectable that he can come in. How do you know this shit? How do you know what's respect and what's not?
He's missing the fucking point. We've talked about this many times in the past. Eric and Tommy are the reasons why Kiss and Paul and Gene can survive and enjoy an extended concert because they don't have to keep looking over their shoulder and wondering, is this guy going to fucking forget the chords to Call on Dr. Love? Is this guy going to forget to keep the beat when we do friggin' rock and roll all night? It prolongs them. It makes their life easier. It's stress-free. It's stress-free. They never have to –
buddy.
Right. Tommy and Eric are good soldiers and fantastic musicians and fantastic professionals. At this point in their career, you think Paul and Gene want to put up with that shit? The fuck out of here.
People don't get it. They're still human beings. And you know what? I actually, it's funny because I heard this the other day when I was at the Bruins game, and I'm going to bring a Bruins sports analogy. It's similar to sports. They talk about how big Zdeno Chara, the 42-year-old defenseman, had his best year in years. Why? Because he's playing with the 22-year-old Charlie McAvoy, who picks up the slack for him. And he doesn't have that heavy load anymore. And he's like, great, I got this young kid. He carries the puck more. He gives him a couple extra years now in his career to be able to play because he's got shit like that next to him. That's what Tommy and fucking Eric have done for Kiss. They've given them a couple extra years.
It's a great analogy.
And that's why when Ace and Peter were there, they're like, fuck it, I want to retire. This is it. Fuck it.
But the thing that's even more embarrassing here is Ace just, I want to give the fans more bang for their buck.
Yeah, he's all about the fans.
How do you know what the fans are getting? You don't even know. We were at 2 of the shows. I didn't see one person being like, oh, this is bullshit that Ace isn't playing. Fuck this show.
Because the stupid people that fucking go on these internet sites, yeah, Ace, you're the best. You're better than that fake fucking cover band.
Well, here you go.
That's a cover band? So him with 5 other guys and 2 other guys playing guitar because he can't do it all himself in his fucking band. So 3 guitar players in his little fucking band when they play Kiss songs. What the fuck is that? Especially when they play Kiss songs, which he never sang on. That's not a cover band? Yep. But Paul Gene singing is a cover band with guys that are in the band for more than 10 years? Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
And
Stewart, that bag of dicks you've been carrying around in your mouth, and get the fuck out of here.
Well, and you know who else can take that fucking bag of dicks is, like you said, the fucking social media tweet mob. Because the other day, Kiss posted pictures from the opening of the European tour on their official Twitter page. Great, bright, nice, beautiful color photos. And it said, it had a picture of Tommy Thayer, and it said, the Spaceman in action.
I saw it. I knew it was coming.
Before I even clicked on the fucking article, the first 25 comments, oh, don't you mean Tommy Thayer? That's not the real Spaceman. Oh. I'm like, you fucking assholes. How miserable are all of you?
It's almost like as though if somebody fucking put something on Twitter, other people go on there and put a picture of Stewart on there. Just to be dicks about things.
Who keeps doing that? I've noticed that too. That's awful.
Who the fuck keeps doing that? Like, you're just angry tweeting. You don't like the band, stay off it. You don't like this guy, stop tweeting photos of Stewart.
Especially those funny ones where he's like sitting on the curb.
Or the one where he's missing.
All right, hold on. So, speaking of it was pretty funny because speaking of the Ace thing, we got some interesting feedback on Twitter. So this was funny because this was completely unsolicited. One of our listeners, Robert Parisi, he was commenting on the Blabbermouth article, and he wrote, "I'm tired of all the Ace sympathizers like the radio host who shall remain nameless, Stewart, as Shout Out Loud Cast likes to call him. The band musically is a million times better with Eric and Tommy." I thought that was pretty funny that he gave us a little shout out for
any relations to Zach Parisi, the hockey player. But I mean, are we going to get a cease and desist? Stop harassing this poor guy.
You know what? You know what? He can fuck off. You know what I'd like? I'd like to have a one-on-one with him. Who the hell are we? We're nobodies. He's Stewart. But you know what? Like, oh, well, I produced Ace Frehley's Second Sighting remix fucking CD.
I got him onto Megaforce Records. Dude, he was Ace Frehley and Kiss. Was it that big a deal? You got him a record contract? Let's be blunt there, fucking Pudgy McGee. No one really pulled strings to get that done. I mean, come on.
Here's another good comment real quick from a Twitter follower, A-Fishel. He goes, E.T. Stewart. He's the biggest Ace. He calls him the biggest Ace apologist out there. He's all in on wanting his buddy back in for the fans, but he never mentions Peter. Then he goes, by the way, did you know that Stewart signed Ace to his label years ago? Just listen to one of his shows and he'll tell you.
You say, I'd pat you on the back, Stewart, but your hand is in the way. Fuck off. Anyways, Stewart and his bag of dicks can go in the corner. What are we talking about tonight there?
Hey, you're talking probably 10. All right. So what we came up with was a little topic called the Kiss Wish List. So we're going to talk about
the Pearl Jam song.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to talk about things that we wish Kiss didn't do, and things that we wish they would do, or we'll explain it as we get going throughout the topic. So it's a wish list. Correct? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So our first, we'll each give 5.
Yep.
5 being your wish. Number 1 being the one you want the most.
Yep.
So these are things we wish Kiss would do. So why don't you start off number 1 and give us your number 5?
Okay.
Tommy, so this is what you wish Kiss would do.
Okay. So this kind of, it doesn't really have too much to what we were just talking about, but it's kind of a general. So some of the things on my list are kind of more specific. Some of them are a little bit more general. So this one thing I wish Kiss would do is that I wish they would take their fans a little bit more seriously and appreciate them and understand that how knowledgeable and smart they are about the band, about their music, about their songs in general, and stop talking to us as if we don't really understand the band, as if we don't really understand the songs. I'll give you an example. When people talk about the set list, and Paul continually talks, he makes these statements about, well, we don't want to sing a song where somebody has to look next to somebody and go, what's this song? Come on, Paul. Treat us a little bit better than that. We're Kiss fans. I'm going to say that 90% of the people on this End of the Road tour are diehards.
Yeah, could be. But there are a bunch of new people there.
There are.
And I have something similar to that on my list, so I don't want to get too much detail in it.
Okay.
About it. But yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly about it. I'll get into a little bit more detail about it when my thing comes up.
Okay.
But you're right. Kiss fans are probably the biggest cult fans there are for a music act.
Right. And I just think, to be honest about some of the things with the fans, I think, the cliches and, kind of like when we talk with Paul's book and when he does these interviews, just be honest. Talk to us like fans.
You could also take the opposite approach and say, I wish the people interviewing the bands would fucking push back when they say things.
Right.
Right? How about if they say, what are you talking about?
Right.
So, anyways, that's your number one, right? I mean, number 5.
Yep.
My number 5 is I wish Kiss would do another box set of demos.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So, obviously, Gene did the Vault.
Yep.
Not really. I mean, we played, just think of it this way. How many demos did we just play last episode? And that's the Rock and Roll Over demo.
Yeah,
There's a bunch of them out there. You can find them on YouTube. There are a bunch of them out there. There's probably a couple other unreleased tracks here and there, Kiss ones.
Yeah.
I wish they would put them together. Maybe it's not a box set, but maybe it's just lost songs.
Or what they could have done is for last week's episode, some of those amazing demos that we played from Rock and Roll Over, they re-released Love Gun in like that deluxe edition with like a whole second disc that had unreleased songs and like some extra tracks. Like, why not re-release like a version of Rock and Roll Over like that with like some of those demos we played? Something. I don't.
I want to get something out.
Yeah.
That has those tracks.
Yeah,
is what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
and whether it's a box set or a set of demos or whatever, lost tracks and things. I think there's another album out there, and I wish that they would release it.
Yeah, and
so that's my
number 5.
That's my number 5.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, I think we briefly touched on this with one of our earlier episodes, but I wish that they didn't take so much time off in between their live albums. There's so much great catalog. There's so much great catalog of music that for them to 1978 to 1993, Alive 2 to Alive 3. So
you're saying an Alive 3, kind of like our real Alive 3s and real Alive 4s.
Yeah, it didn't even need to be on that schedule of every third album, but even something in the mid 80s, and I know that there was some lean years for Kiss where maybe they didn't think they could do it, but I think once they took the makeup off and they were doing those Animalize, Asylum type stuff, they could have easily put out a live album.
I agree with you.
And so I would have liked to have seen more live stuff from them for sure. And another thing, going back to the Love Gun Deluxe Edition, there's some live versions of songs on that weren't on Alive 2, like different versions of that. Just give us some more stuff, Yep.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
My number 4 is another album. Oh. No. Yeah. Another album. That's what I have. I'm looking for them to, put something together. I don't care. I mean, I like Monster. I don't love it, but I bet you if I listened to it a little more, maybe I would love it. I really like Sonic Boom. I just feel there's another album out there. There's another album in them, and it's a shame that they don't perform together. Gene and Paul separate are not the same as Gene and Paul together.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think there's another one in them.
Yeah, you're right. And you got to wonder, we mentioned this last week with Paul in the Soul Station business. Do they even want to do that? Because it seems like, the amount of time that Paul spends with Torn with Kiss, and then he spends his time with Soul Station, and then Gene's doing the Vault, and Gene's selling fucking bottles of soda and all this. I mean, do they want to do that? I don't think they do.
And that's part of the fans thing. It is really, really hard to listen to somebody that we've all spent a ton of money on for years to sit there and say, well, there's no money in it. You don't have enough money to make in your life that you're not going to make another album unless you make a ton of money.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Even
when he says that really annoys the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Tell me you don't have you don't want to just do one because just to do it, or something like that. Better off saying nothing than when you say, well, why should I do it? There's no money in it, or people rip it off. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I know you got into it because you wanted to get girls, like you always say, but eventually you do love music as much as you don't want to talk about it, Genes, or say it. You do love music. You wouldn't have been doing all this stuff if you didn't. So there's still another album out there. I don't want to hear you don't want to do it because you're not going to make money if you do it.
Yeah. And I can't take credit for this because I'll just say that the boys over at Pod of Thunder, they had mentioned this recently before. Just do like an EP, release like a 5-track like EP, something, just some new music. It doesn't need to be a 12-track studio recording. Drop something out on iTunes or something. I mean, I see bands doing this all the time. I'm a huge fan of the Foo Fighters. Okay. Mm-hmm. The in between albums, the Foo Fighters released, I think it was a 4 or 5 song EP. It was great. I mean, if you're a Foo Fighters fan like I am, it was great. And it pacified the fans in between a big studio album. Just give us something, Mm-hmm. And again, it kind of piggybacks on my number 5 where I said, pay attention to the fans. We're smart. We're knowledgeable. We like the band,
Yep.
do something, I think that's a good one.
Go on. You're up, buddy.
Yeah. So so we're at my number 3.
Yes.
I wish that they had specifically and unequivocally addressed the End of the Road tour with the former members of the band. I wish they had come out and just said, this is this and this is that, and that's it. Enough. Then you wouldn't have Ace coming out and blowing his fucking horn about, bang for the buck. You wouldn't have all this little speculation. You wouldn't have Stewart saying this and that. Come out. That's a huge topic for the fans. Come out and tell us what you're doing. Because I don't believe that there's any conspiracy that there's something under the rug that they're going to pull from us. I know you think that. I don't.
No, I just think they're not definite on it. There could be. It's not. I guess what I would like to say, I think all doors are open. I think it's still up in the air.
You truly believe that?
Yeah, I do. Okay.
See, I don't. I think there's no chance of anybody coming back.
It's business.
Yeah.
Do you think Ace, by what he said in these interviews, does not want to come back?
Of course. Oh, no, he absolutely wants to come back.
So do you think Peter, if Ace came back, would not be interested in doing a couple songs with the band?
No,
even though Paul said this shit about him in the book, you don't think Peter would say, I'll take the money?
I don't think Paul is going to allow anybody else to get on the stage with him.
I'm just telling you, I think they would do it. Now, whether they're going to do it is a different story. I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think Ace, Peter, Bruce.
So the doors are open there. I think by the time they come around, if I'm Paul and Gene, I could be like, look, we made our money. We did our tour. We ended it. Let's just go home, do a couple more concerts. We'll bring the old boys back. Therefore, they didn't drag this shit out for 3 years and get miserable halfway through this tour, quit, and be like, I can't do it with these assholes anymore. They come back, the last leg, they bring them on. That's my opinion.
You think it would be part of this tour? Do you think it would be a separate, independent?
I think at the end, this is supposedly 3 years, right? We're not even 6 months into this.
Right.
So the last third year, they'll come back and be like, okay, now we know we're going to end out. I don't fucking give a shit. Let's bring these guys out. So they didn't have to pull their baggage around with them for 3 years. I think that's a smarter move.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So that was your 3?
3. Yep.
So my 3 is I wish they did or will do a real legit documentary.
Yes.
Not a fucking The Dirt. I mean a documentary.
Right.
Like we talked about it, I think, with Stephen Michael from Growing Up Rock podcast.
Yep.
Like the Eagles did, the history of the Eagles, where everybody got to speak and nobody cared how mad of an asshole they looked. Put Paul and Gene out there. Gene say, go ahead, Ace. And then you can retort. Sure, put more shit. You get to talk more, obviously, than he does. But put it out there. If you put a documentary out there with just Paul and Gene, everyone's going to be like, it's bullshit. And I mean a real good documentary. Whereas that's part of the reason me and you love Extreme Close-Up. Because those guys got into it.
Yeah.
With some great footage. They can do that.
There is no way Paul and Gene are going to allow a documentary where Peter and Ace can speak freely and talk about what really happened.
Well,
because Paul and Gene know that it's going to damage the brand that they have right now in 2019.
All right. At the end, let's say.
When the tour is over, maybe.
Dude, Martin Scorsese did an unbelievable documentary on George Harrison. Filmmakers like to do these stuff. It doesn't have to be Martin Scorsese, but maybe some guy they have respect for. And he says, listen, I want to do this on you. And they're like flattered. And he says, but I got to do it our way. I want real footage. So I'm going to bring the band members. I'm bringing Eric Carr's family because there was some turmoil about that. I want to hear from them. I want to hear from, Mark St. John's family. I want to hear, about all these guys. You never know.
I agree.
My wish. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with you. And I wish for that same thing. But the narrative of Kiss is told by Paul, and that's it. Paul is not going to allow anyone else to steer the narrative of Kiss. That's my wish. That's why he speaks the way he speaks in very coded language, very scripted language, because he's the steering.
I know he's very guarded about his shit. I get it.
Yep.
All right.
Go
ahead. Number 2.
Yep. This is a big wish because it probably would have been a lot of things that would have had to have happened.
So you made a big decision.
Yeah, it's a big decision. I wish that either Ace himself or the band, I wish they had pushed him to sing more earlier in Kiss's career. I know that he says that he was very shy and didn't want to sing, but for that band to not have an Ace song until Love Gun, I think is ridiculous, and I understand it. But you look at, he sang on Love Gun. Then all of a sudden he's got 3 songs on Dynasty, 3 songs on Unmasked, a song on Elder. There's a ton of talent that you didn't tap into right there. Yeah. They missed out badly.
Don't you think? Imagine the first album if Ace sang Cold Gin.
Oh, would have been right.
I honestly believe, this is just me. Yeah. I honestly believe Gene Simmons singing Cold Gin takes away from Cold Gin.
I agree.
Because we all know he doesn't drink.
I say that all the time.
If the drunk in the band was singing about boozing, we know he wrote it, but if the drunk in the band, you'd be like, yeah, badass.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Strange Ways. Think of that.
No, I still want Peter singing.
I know you love Peter, but
I'm saying I like the way Peter sang it. You can set me free.
Oh, yeah.
I love that screech.
But
I'm just saying.
Even if there were songs that we don't even know about that could have been written full, I'm not saying that you have to take any vocals away and give them to Ace, but I just would have liked to have heard him a lot more.
I agree with you. I think that's a great one. I wish he did some more.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a good one. So my number 2 is out of left field a little bit.
There we go. I like it.
Something I wish they would do, and just tell me how cool this would have been. I wish in about 76, 77. No, I think it would have to be 77. I'm not sure when the show started. I think maybe 75. I wish Kiss was on the original SNL.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine the skits and imagine them doing their live performance, and it would reclaim some of their badassery and their coolness instead of being on fucking, The Kids Like Pickles, whatever the fucking show they were on. What was that show?
Kids of People Too.
Kids of Pickles Too, whatever the fuck they were.
Kids Like Pickles? The fuck kind of show is that?
Kids Tickle My Pickle. What the fuck they were on?
Pickle.
I pickle they. I pickle they. You got the pickles? But think about how awesome that would have been if they're like, Kiss, and they go over to them and they're all in the black still. Yeah. Not Dynasty Kiss. I'm talking about like
the Winterland show.
Yeah, like Destroyer, not Destroyer, Hotter Than Hell outfits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The San Fran shows out in black and white. That outfit's like black and white and dark. How cool would that have been?
Yeah, that's a good one because I'd love to know the story about how that did not happen. Yeah. I mean, because Kiss, they're from New York. Saturday Night Live is filmed in New York.
And, Gene could have done skits and stuff like that. And
of course. And I mean,
funny.
And they were taking all kinds of promo back then. So
now, when they put the makeup back on, you don't think Kiss could have been the musical guest and been the host where they could be in non-makeup and makeup and
probably
do both?
Yeah.
And play characters and stuff?
No, that's a good one.
I just thought that would be a nice, and it's a New York thing for them.
Yeah,
Kiss on SNL would have been great, especially the old one with Belushi and all them.
Yep, no, it's a good one, definitely.
So that's my number 2.
Okay,
your number 1.
My number 1. So this is I'll explain this. So I wish Kiss would embrace their history a little bit more, and let me explain.
Okay.
On their website, they always do we just had the 40th anniversary of Dynasty, and they, you can buy the 40th anniversary platinum vinyl and all that. I get that. But when I say embrace their history, they did it for a while with Kissology. They stopped with the Kissologies, but put out more of those classic DVDs, put out some Blu-ray concerts or shows or behind the scenes, because it seems like right now they're touring, they're in makeup, they're playing classic songs, but it seems like there's a disconnect between what's going on now and what got them to where they are now sometimes with me. I feel like you have to go on their website to learn about their history, but sell some, instead of selling us stupid shit like a fucking Gene Simmons, spatula, give us I said that because I actually saw that online today. So for Father's Day, they have Kiss aprons and Kiss barbecue tools for your grill.
You have that on your wish list.
Hell yeah!
Along with your Kiss Crocs.
But but put out some of those DVDs, like some a fucking Creatures of the Night tour DVD. Instead, I got to go on eBay and buy some fucking bootleg from some guy who taped it off his VCR.
I know that's I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I think that would be fantastic. You're right.
Yep.
There is, because I think they don't want to, alienate. They want to talk about what's going on now. This is the tour, and you know what? You can put the old stuff. I think they're more about branding than the music stuff.
Absolutely, you're right.
Let's get more products, more so, and there's more money, less expenses. When you're going back to the music stuff, and that's why the Kiss DVD is having issues. You're talking about rights, and they're all being held up, and you have to buy them, and there's litigation and lawyers and legal fees. When I could just fucking put out a Kiss egg beater and make fucking 50 cents for every dollar they sell,
Yep. Yeah, no, you're right.
So to them, it's like, why deal with the headaches? Just fucking do this. Yeah, we'll get to that shit later.
We'll get to that. Let me put out a fucking Kiss fucking underwear. Whatever. We'll do that instead.
We put out a Kiss ant farm for little kids.
Why not? All right.
So my number 1 was what you kind of talked about as your number 5.
Okay.
And that was the set list.
Okay.
I think that's almost every Kiss fucking fan's number 1 thing.
Yep.
Change the fucking set list.
Yep.
And which is, for me, it goes back to this. Hey, Paul, you sit there and you want to tell us, well, when they play the song, I'll tell you when when they go to the bathroom, I'll tell you that's a new song. When you see the fans leave, or when they sit down, that's this song. Or what's that song? We don't know. So, okay, I get it. You don't replace Shout It Out Loud with Mr. Speed. I get it, because other people don't. You mean to tell me Got to Choose is going to get a better reaction from your crowd than Mr. Speed would?
Right.
You're telling me Do You Love Me is going to get a better reaction than, I don't know, fucking pulling out Love 'Em, Leave 'Em out of nowhere? No way is it going to get a better reaction. You would get people would be jumping up and the internet would be ablaze if they're like, dude, they're pulling out songs left and right.
Yep.
There's no way you're telling me, I understand. We're not telling you to take out your top 10 staples. And we did that in our end of the road preview. Remember we said these songs definitely have to be in the set list?
Yep.
Okay, we've done that. Okay, we're talking about those 3 to 4 in there that you maybe play. I mean, give me a break. No one's going to complain if you're replacing some of these songs with some of the cult ones that we all like.
And with Tommy and Eric, they can play anything. Those guys, you give them a few days, and that shit's going to be done down pat.
Right. Am I right about that stuff? Think about the songs that are on these tours right now. You mean even like I Stole Your Love is not really a classic because it's a fucking hit too for them.
Yep.
You don't think like people would be like, I'd rather hear I Fucking Stole Your Love than something else. I get it. You don't want to take out Beth, even though most of the crowd probably wouldn't want to hear it right now. But you couldn't take out in the beginning what'd you play? Hide Your Heart?
Yep.
Or what else did they play that, look at their fucking CD.
Well, just with their recent change right now, taking out Do You Love Me and putting in Crazy Nights. It's not a huge change, but at least it's a change.
Yeah. I'm sorry. 100,000 years?
Song sucks.
But it doesn't. I don't think it sucks. But you mean to tell me you couldn't have put fucking All American Man in there instead? How sick would people go? So the people that are in the crowd, the only ones who know All American Man are the fucking real Kiss fans, not the newbies when you ask to raise your hand, right? Mm-hmm. So if it's not the newbies, then who are you playing that for? The real Kiss fans would rather hear All American Man.
Yeah, and I got news for you, Paul. The real fans are the people sitting on the floor paying $900 to sit in the first row or whatever. Those people that are sitting 20, 30 feet from you, those are the people who are the real fans. And I'll say it again. We went to 2 shows, okay? I know that there were a lot of families and some kids. I brought my son, whatever. You brought your daughter to yours. But the majority of the people in that crowd are diehards, people who've been following this band for 30 plus years. Okay, you don't need to play the cookie cutter set list. You don't need to do it. I mean, we've been
or admit that you're doing it for you. You're not doing it for the fans.
That's my point.
I don't want to fucking expand this. Oh, this is the songs I know. I don't want to learn this. I can't touch this. Or I don't want to fucking do wink, wink, backing tracks for this new song when we have them all for these songs. I don't know.
But you're right.
Don't tell me you're doing it for the fans, because none of the fans, if you did a fucking poll of your fans that are at that concert, 70% of them would say, yeah, put a new song in.
Right. And that's why your number 1 piggybacks on my number 5. Don't friggin' talk stupid to the fans.
Yeah.
We know why you're doing it, but it doesn't mean we have to like it,
So that's our wish list.
Yep.
So let's go over to we wish they didn't.
Ooh, more negativity. Yeah.
Yeah. We wish they didn't.
Yep. You go first on this one.
On this one, I'll go first.
Okay.
Number 1, I wish this is stuff they did.
Yeah.
I wish they didn't put new tracks on Alive 2.
Oh, that's my number 5 also. Good, so we can talk about this.
I wish they just fucking put more live tracks. Save 3 of those tracks. Let's say All American Man, Larger Than Life, and Rocket Ride. Save those. Put him on the fucking next album.
Yep.
Dynasty.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. I don't understand. And
we put fucking more live songs on.
Yeah, we've railed against this before. If you have a live version of Take Me, That's on You Wanted the Best, that live compilation. Why is that not on Alive 2? Okay, the video that we shared on our Facebook page of Peter singing Hooligan on the Alive 2 tour. Why is that not on there?
Yeah.
You know?
Because Paul's not going to give Peter 2 songs.
Okay,
three songs.
But
he's
still,
not going to give him 3 songs.
But I mean, how many great songs from that sweet spot era could have been on that?
Absolutely.
You know, how many times do we say it? You really needed to hear the Dave Clark 5 on Alive 2. Come on, man, really?
Peter should have went up to Paul. Hey, fucko.
Exactly. I'll sing the shit out of it.
I'll fucking sing the shit out of Hooligan. You put it on live. Exactly. You hear me?
Exactly.
Yep. No, that's my number 5. Go ahead, buddy.
I think as much as people love those original tracks, I think they would have longed for more live stuff for sure.
So that's your number 5?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Okay. Yep. So let's skip over to my number 4. I wish Paul and Gene weren't dicks on the Tomorrow Show.
That's the best part of the. Oh, all right, you go.
I believe it only festers and it leads to more division between the fucking Kiss fans and then the Ace and Peter are the fucking only ones that are cool. Like Paul and Gene, do you realize how fucking like awful you look in that whole episode? Like you should have went along with the joke. Let them have their fun. Have a blast. You guys dominate all the fucking interviews and shows anyways. Let those guys loose. They'll get the people more interested in the band. But I think at that point everybody was sick of each other.
Well, you took the words. And
they're like, "Oh, now these guys want to fucking act like big shots and care about us and take over the limelight. Fuck them."
Yeah.
But they looked awful. Like the look that Paul was giving and Gene, you could tell was like settle down, like biting his tongue. And Paul was just like, I don't like where this is going.
You took the words right out of my mouth. If that interview was done like a year or two before, you know, but that was right when the fucking wheels were falling way off that band. And that was that was the tip of the iceberg. Peter and I fucking love that.
Now I'm a plumber.
Yeah, I got and the best part about it that pisses Paul and Gene off even more is that Tom Snyder fucking had a blast with it.
Yeah.
He was loving it. He was loving it.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, it's great.
That's my number 4.
Okay, my number 4. I wish they hadn't released Hotter Than Hell sounding like that.
Oh, that's a good one. Yep.
Okay.
The production.
Great album. I mean, top to bottom, another album that top to bottom really doesn't have any stinkers in my book. Maybe Let Me Go Rock and Roll. Not one of my favorites, but whatever. But if that
is classic,
it is. But if they could somehow remix, remaster something to take
without making it into Hotter Than Hell disco.
Yeah, I mean, to try to take that sludgy basement sound out of it. You know, I know that they claim that they were trying for something, but it's just it just would. If that thing sounded like the first album or anything other than that album, it would have been terrific because it's a great album.
One of my favorites, right up there, probably a Kiss Mount Rushmore album for me.
Yeah,
love it to death. It could have sounded better. And imagine if it did. Holy fuck balls! That'd have been great. All right. My number 3, I wish Kiss didn't hire Mark St. John.
Ooh, I almost had that. I'm not kidding. Go ahead.
And hear me out.
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, obviously, we all still love the band, even though they've had 5 guitarists. I think one less would have been better. But I'm not going to regret that they hired Vinnie Vincent. I'm not.
Way.
Because he brought a different element to Kiss. It's almost like Van Hagar. Yep. Kiss with Vinny was a different kind of band, but still an awesome band. And he did bring out some great parts of Kiss between Creatures, Lick It Up, and Revenge. Totally. So I'm not going to regret him. I'm definitely not going to regret Bruce.
No way.
Mark St. John, he just didn't fit. I don't think this album was bad, but I think anybody could have done that guitar shit that he did on that album. And it was just such a waste. It just diminishes the band. It dilutes them by having, there's another guy in the band. Oh, here's another guitarist. Oh, here's another one. And, you know, I wish they found Bruce earlier.
Yes.
And I think it would have been better for them. Nothing against the guy, I just wish they didn't hire him. I wish they found him more permanent instead of running around panicking, bringing in Vinny where he didn't really fit, but at least gave him good music. And then they panicked again and run out and hire a guy. Yeah, he teaches guitar. Wonderful.
Great.
What does he have to do with Kiss?
Exactly.
That's my thought.
No, it's a good one. No, that's definitely a good one because Bruce could have done what he did. Vinny could have done what he did, but you're right. I mean, and I guess you can't really say it's his fault because, with his medical issue, he did get booted from the band. But no, I see what you're saying. It was a bad pick from the get-go.
Yeah. He booted me across the bond.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead.
So
shoot. Go ahead.
So
number 3. Go ahead.
My number 3. I wish they didn't release Monster with that horrible fucking album cover. Maybe the worst album cover, and I'll tell you why this is on my list.
You're making me look
I didn't bring up any other album covers. I brought this one up because this potentially could be the last Kiss album we ever get, and that potentially may be the last Kiss album cover we get to look at, and it's fucking terrible. First of all,
choking out with Paul choking out Gene and reaching out for the stars.
First of all, I think the album sucks. Anyways, I can't stand it. It's a fucking heaping pile of dog shit. But the album cover, just what are you doing? What is that? It's terrible. It's terrible, and it just upsets me that right now could be the lasting memory for a Kiss fans album.
Imagine if Monster was like some demon-like creature with Gene's face destroying like a fucking city.
Well, that's the thing.
You call it Monster.
Well, you're making my point. You name the album Monster. That is perfect for all kinds of interpretations with artwork and all kinds of amazing, like, you could go back and do like a Destroyer-type cover or something. They take a fucking terrible, like, photo shoot studio shot of the four of them.
You mean like a photo booth? Now everyone wears crazy hats.
Yeah, it's
now, like put on these glasses.
Yeah, it's like one of those things you see at like a senior prom. Everybody get over here. The photo booth's over here.
Yay! Yeah, let's do gang signs. Prison photo. Okay.
Oh, wait. Pretend I'm going to choke you. Ha ha.
Yeah. I hear you.
I hate it.
All right. So, my number 4.
Number 4? No, number 3.
My number 3. No, my number 2.
Oh, yeah. Shit. We're all screwed up because we both had the same number 5. That's why.
Yeah. My number 2. Right?
Yep. Yeah.
I wish they didn't put Eric Carr and Vinnie Vincent in the Anki Warrior Fox makeup.
Oh, whoa, that's controversial right there.
I wish they went right back to Peter's makeup and Ace's makeup back then.
Okay, why?
And you would never have this issue ever again.
Exactly.
And then all those Stewart people could go fucking ride on a pogo stick up and down Route fucking 95.
And you're right. And you know what else it would have saved Kiss themselves, Paul and Gene, from having to be like, well, we got the Demon, the Star Child, the Catman, and the Spaceman. No, that wasn't it back then. The Catman was created because Peter, with his 9 lives, being in a street gang. The Spaceman was created because Ace was out of his mind in space. Those were all personalized characters. So don't try to sell that to us now.
Yeah.
But you're right. If back then they did it, it could have carried on to where we are now.
I think it would make our lives easier.
Yes, I agree.
I get it, but does anybody sit there and go, like when you go to a Kiss concert and someone's dressed up as the Fox, are you like, what the fuck? or the Anki Warrior? I mean,
I got to be honest with you. When you see live footage of the fucking Creatures tour, I think that's kick ass with the tank. With Vinny and Eric, I love it. I think it's fun.
He should be on there with the Peter Criss makeup and stuff. Yeah, I just think it would have been better if they just stayed with the Catman and fucking.
Now, see, the flip side of that argument is
You wish that other people would put on different Tommy and then would have different makeup. Yeah.
Bingo. Now I know,
but I don't wish that.
Right. I know they don't do that now because right now, like I said, it's the Demon, the Star Child, the Spaceman, the Catman. It's a brand thing now. So they're never going to do that. But yeah, that's an interesting one. Okay. All right. I see you.
So number 2 for you.
All right. I may have mentioned this before in a previous episode. Now bear with me here. I love these. I think everybody loves them. I wish they didn't do the solo albums. And I'll tell you why.
Huge one. I know everyone says, yep.
And I'll tell you why. I wish they took those studio tracks off of Alive 2, took the best of the best off the solo albums, and just put out a kick-ass follow-up to Love Gun. They could have done it. They tried to say that the solo albums was a way to appease the band and everybody would be happy. It did the exact opposite. Especially Ace. He's like, fuck this. Look at my album. You guys can go fuck yourself. I'll stick around for your stupid little Unmasked and Elder shit. But I think it did more damage to the band than they anticipated.
Yeah, I know a lot of people and would probably agree with you. I told you I remember hearing Sean Delaney talk about it, that he said, don't do it. It's going to fuck you guys up. Don't do it.
Yep.
And you might be 100% right. It did fuck them up. And I saw somewhere that, look, that was already in the works in their contract that they had, and that was in 76. So it wasn't really just to appease them. They already had it in there, and that would help them fulfill their contract with the record company, and they would get like a half a record for each one of them.
Yep, I saw that.
Something like that.
Yep.
I don't know. But I do agree with you. That it did cause a lot of turmoil, but I still think there's some good music in there.
Oh, no doubt.
You know what I mean? Like, there's part of you that thinks like if they didn't allow them to do that, then you would never have It's All Right, or you would never have Radioactive, or you never have Rip It Out. Maybe they never would do those. Who knows?
Maybe. See, I'm thinking the other way around. I'm thinking if you took an album and put Rip It Out and It's All Right and Radioactive, you put those all on one album, it would be fucking insane.
Or would it come out as one album?
No, you're right.
Would Kiss do those albums or those songs?
No.
Maybe they wouldn't have it creatively.
You're right.
But it's a big one, the solo albums, as being the death nail in the original Kiss.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yep.
All right. So my final one. And it almost goes back to the set list comment.
Okay.
But I call this a little bit different. I wish Kiss wouldn't shit on their own stuff in catalog.
Oh my God. That's my number one. I'm not
joking. We did not talk about this at all.
We literally
not one hint.
We literally didn't say one word to each other about this other than this.
I've had so much shit going on. I'm surprised I got my list together.
No, go ahead. Because we may have a different.
My number one is I wish they wouldn't shit on their stuff. Stop telling me that fucking, that's a joke. Dude, there are people that love that stuff. What are you talking about? Oh, yeah, I know. And when I hear him on, like, Talk is Jericho, and he's like, those people that would listen to. There are people, he's like, but those Kiss fans, man, that's why they pay all that money to go on the cruise so you would play I'm Just a Boy. And he, like, fucking laughs about it and mocks it. Dude, they love this shit. Stop making us feel like we're idiots. And like, you let the other people that mock Kiss fans for being stupid, like robots buying all that shit, you make them agree with them. Like, they're even laughing at you. Your own band that is laughing at you. They say their shit sucks and you go out and buy it. You're making us feel stupid.
Dude, that's hilarious because right here I got number one, don't shit on or mock fans for liking certain eras of the band. And I specifically highlighted like the Elder era because people are like, like you said, they want to hear the Oath, and Paul be like, which two people want to hear that song? Like, ha, ha, ha.
Obviously, two people like you and Gene, because you and Gene at one point wanted to put that out. Yep. So don't tell us we're stupid when you actually created this and then you promoted this and thought it was important because you write it in your book that you're all impressed and stuff. And because it got mocked and you're so sensitive that you find it easier to shit on it.
That's totally right.
You know what? I think people didn't get it.
It's totally right because other people are shitting on it. It's almost like he's engaging in his own form of bullying. Yeah. He's like, you guys think this sucks? Yeah, I think it sucks too. Ha ha ha. Now we all think it sucks. Like, do you have any idea how stupid you look? And
I'm not sure if I've ever heard Gene shit on the Elder. Have you?
I don't really think Gene shits on anything Kiss has ever done, to be honest with you. I think it's Paul.
No, I mean, he does admit sometimes in the 80s he was kind of aloof and
that's him thing. But that's him personally. That's him personally.
But I've never heard him. I mean, and I know the Kiss fanatics out there will probably know, somebody will know. Have you heard him being like, oh, people that want to hear us play friggin' I or The Oath, what are they thinking?
I don't really think I hear that much from him on that. I think it's mostly Paul. And I think
let me just finish this last thought. That's why he played that shit with his awesome kick-ass band when he was doing that solo. He was pulling all sorts of shit.
Because
I don't think he thinks like that.
It's because he knows fucking Paul's never going to play it anywhere else. And Gene's probably like, God damn it, these are good songs, but this fucking asshole won't let me play any of them.
This fucking asshole.
That's probably why Gene goes on his solo tours. He's like,
man.
He's probably like, Paul, go do your friggin' Heard It Through the Grapevine with Soul Station here. I'm going to go play
the California Raisins.
Yeah. I'm going to go play Charisma for a bunch of people that want to hear it.
Exactly. But I just can't picture, him agreeing to it. We're going to play She's So European. Do you think Gene shits on She's So European? I bet you Gene thinks it's a fucking classic. He put out, My Fucking Uncle's a Raft. I mean, what the fuck?
Dude, first of all, there's no way Gene can shit on anything when he released that 2,000 song Vault mess. He's proud of everything he's ever recorded.
Yeah, but do you get my point?
Yeah, no, I know. I'm kidding.
I don't think he would. I've never really heard him shit on his songs.
No.
So maybe we should I wish Paul wouldn't shit on this stuff.
The closest thing he's ever shit on, and it's not even really shitting, it's probably just kind of doing like tongue in cheek, is when he makes fun of some of the lyrics from the 80s, like when he talks about burn, bitch, burn and stuff. But I don't think he's really necessarily shitting on it as more as he's kind of poking some fun at it. Like Paul legitimately mocks people that like certain aspects.
Or mocks his lyrics. Of his earlier songs. Oh, that was so simple back then. Oh, I could write this like this. Oh, dude,
as opposed
Bob Dylan now.
Yeah, as opposed to fucking Take Me Down Below or whatever the fuck you're singing.
Because I'm already wet.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Oh,
but it's funny because that one kind of connects to one of my earlier things about taking the fans as being smart and why would you
sense a theme here, Tom?
What's the theme?
No, I'm just saying we're very similar to a lot of this stuff about get really down to it. It's I think they do know us.
Yeah,
and if they do know us, show us the respect that you're not gonna don't say this shit when we all know this is bullshit.
Yeah. It is funny because if you stop here and you look at what we have on both of our lists, okay, Zeus and I talked about this before. This is primarily a lot of negativity because we're wishing about things that didn't happen and wishing for things that have not happened. But if you look at a lot of them, they all kind of have a theme about, paying attention to the fans, respecting the fans, being honest with the fans, giving the fans what they want. I know my list, I talk about, embracing history,
Yeah, but I want to push back a little on that.
Go ahead.
At least I know I'm not saying that they shit on us.
No.
I'm not saying that they don't give a fuck about us.
No, I'm not saying that
either. I wish they would do more.
Yeah. I'm not saying that they shit on us. I'm saying I wish they would respect us for who we are as we're the reason that they're still touring in 2019.
Yeah, and part of when they always say it, they're always very vocal and gracious to the fans.
Yes, I agree.
But they need to put that in. Now, they do stuff for the military. They do a lot of charity work. They do a lot of other stuff. And I get it, okay? And we don't begrudge them from being gazillionaires off of us stupidly buying Kiss fucking dildos. But, don't mock me and tell me that nobody wants to hear fucking, almost human instead of, I don't know, whatever, for out of nowhere. I mean, come on.
Right.
So part of me just wants to say there's a certain level of stuff. And stop giving us the cliched answers. Oh, nobody will listen. That's when people leave. Shut up.
Right.
Well, that stuff. That's the thing that I really want to make a point on.
Yeah, and I think the point of these lists was pretty much to show, actually, it may have been like a backhanded way to do it, but how much we love the band, and we just, there's so many things that we love about the band that we just wish there was a couple little extra things that we kind of, nothing wrong with bitching about the things that you love. I mean, it happens.
What did we say in our initial introductory episode? We're not fanboys. We're not just going to sit there and give them foot rubs.
That's right. That's
but exactly they are our favorite band. Yep. And like things that we all love, we bitch about them.
Of course.
We all love sports, and we all want our team to win. When they lose, we bitch about them.
Yep.
That's what we do. So that's what this episode was about. I think it was an episode to vent on
pretty much. Yeah.
And get things off our chest.
Yep.
I hope you guys get back to us and let us know what you think.
Oh,
I'd be give us a list of wish lists and wish they didn't do and wish they did do.
Yeah.
I think it would be great for us to talk about it on Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah, and everybody out there who's listening to this, and we thank each and every one of you, that you got to have at least 1 or 2, 3 things that on your wish list that, like Zeus just said, that would love to hear. I think it would be very interesting.
Yeah, like make it sensible. I don't want to hear, I wish the Ace played the G minor chord on this solo. Like, fuck up. Like, come back with something normal that people are going to know or want to hear about. Oh, I wish Kiss would play My City. Well, no fuck, buddy. I wish Kiss would be fucking in my bubble bath with me. I mean, playing the song.
Yeah, too bad you live in fucking Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. Kiss ain't coming up there.
But you know what I mean, right?
Right.
So, let's keep it reasonable, folks, okay?
That's true. Yeah.
So, that's our episode.
Yeah.
We got questions?
Yeah, we got a couple here. We got one silly one. Silly. This is.
Why do you want to give me a silly question?
Because it's silly. So this is from Deuce. This is his silly one. So
she weighs a deuce.
Which do you think was a better couple, Gene and Cher, or Gene and Diana Ross? Because he was hitting both of them.
I don't know. That's a good one.
Really? So this is easy.
I think Cher's hotter.
Me too. Plus, I think Cher's probably a freak.
Oh, she's definitely a freak because I heard him talking with her when he did a fake interview with her a couple years ago, and they're like, she's like Jeannie, and like they still flirt with each other.
Oh yeah,
I bet you shit. It's probably like, I don't like the way she talks to you, Gene. Yeah. They were still talking like as though he still bangs her. She was talking about like she dates like 3 guys at once right now.
Nice.
I'm still in a rage. It's like, and she fucking loves him.
Oh yeah.
So I like Cher. I have an affinity towards her, and I like Diana Ross. I love the Supremes.
Yeah.
But I would probably say Cher.
Nice. Yeah, me too. Okay. Here's a good one. This is from our buddy Eladio.
Yeah, Eladio.
Yeah, he gets involved with us a lot. What is your favorite Kiss memorabilia item that you own, and what would you like to own that you don't have?
Fuck. I guess what is my favorite Kiss thing that I have?
Yeah.
I'm not that big of a collector, Tommy. Why don't you think of something while I start thinking?
Now, see, I have yet to post any pictures on my personal Twitter or the show Twitter, but I actually have a Kiss bar in my basement. I got a couple Kiss bar stools with the Destroyer album cover. I got a couple neon signs, all kinds of crazy shit. And I've been collecting stuff for a long time. I would probably say that my favorite item off the top of my head is it's an unofficial Kiss item, so I hope this counts. But we had a family friend travel to Russia a while back, and they came back with these, you know those wooden nesting dolls?
What was it, George Papadopoulos?
So it was those wooden nesting dolls, and they were all hand painted with Kiss on them. So so the big one had Gene. You open it up. The next one had Paul.
They're called something. What the
nesting
fuck
dolls? I refer to them
as dolls. What do they call them?
I don't know if they have another kind of official name, but that's what I refer to them as. And then when you open up the very last little one, it says Kiss on it with the Kiss logo. It's got the 4 original members hand painted. The thing is fucking amazing looking.
Matryoshka dolls.
Okay, I don't know that word.
Yeah, Matryoshka dolls.
Russian nesting dolls?
Russian nesting dolls, yeah that's it. I've heard this, yeah.
So I got that. And then one more personal one is that years ago, because when my dad obviously knew that I loved Kiss. I don't know where the hell he found these things, but I still have them downstairs. They're a pair of Kiss slippers, but they look like, and they're like a life size. They're the jean dragon boots from the Love Gun album cover.
Nice.
Oh, the things are amazing. I'll take a couple pictures of these things I'm talking about. I'll put them on for you guys to see after you hear this.
You know what I have, and I showed you? This is probably it. I have back in 85, 86. I was probably in junior high or something like that.
Yep.
I used to go to Harvard Square and get in Harvard, right? I would get, and they had those bootleg stores. So I got a Kiss bootleg album.
Okay.
It's got all weird shit on it. I had to hand write the songs that are on it.
Wow.
I would say that. I don't have that much Kiss memorabilia stuff.
Yeah.
What would I wish to have? I would say I probably wish I would have maybe I would say this. If this was possible, but I don't think it is possible, the Kiss box set signed by every member.
That's a good one.
Something that would be signed by every member, but they contributed.
Yep.
So I don't want the Kiss Dynasty album with Eric Carr's signature. Like, I want the box set would cover everything.
Yeah. Okay.
So something like that.
Okay. For me, this is easy.
Or the History book signed by everyone.
Oh, I know. For me, this is easy, and it's funny because you can actually find them on eBay for like fucking $10,000, $20,000. It would be the original Kiss pinball machine. That would be the holy grail for me. Get that bad boy, put it in the basement, and just light it up. That would be the one thing.
Your son would have a fucking high school party, and somebody'd smash it.
And then you'd see me on the and then you would see me on the 10 o'clock news because I killed 10 high school kids
because you choked out some kid.
Right, man.
Kiss fan assaults young child.
Man destroys 10 young children with Russian nesting dolls.
He was seen beating him with a nesting doll and throwing his head through the pinball machine.
They were beating you and throwing things at you?
Yes, because he wore little tight shorts on the job. So those are our questions, right?
So those are the questions.
So where can people find us?
People can find us for the podcast itself, you can find us on iTunes, Apple. And like we say every week, give us one of those 5-star child reviews. It really helps us.
Yeah.
We're also on Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Podomatic, Podchaser, YouTube. We're everywhere. Give us reviews.
Social media too.
Yep. Twitter, as you all know, we're very active on Twitter. We're active on Facebook, Instagram, interact. Like we saw tonight. You don't have to wait for us to post something. If you see something funny or cool, tag us in it. Like, we saw tonight, we love the interaction. It's fun. Even if it's something silly like tonight, a Stewart reference, we love that kind of stuff.
And send us your questions either on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or email us.
Yep.
Email us at shoutitoutloudcast@gmail.com. Shoutitoutloudcast@gmail.com. As Tommy said, if you can go on Podchaser, iTunes, Google Play, whatever you can, if you can give us a great review, one of those 5-star child reviews, it helps obviously the program. It gives us more visibility, and we really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yep. We love all the interaction where everybody seems like they're having a good time. So that's what we want. Take a break from some of the chaos and just get online and get silly with Kiss stuff.
That's right.
Yep.
Famous last words.
You're much younger, can't you see? There is nothing more for you and I. I'm 93, you're 16, and I think I'm going blind.
Never understood that. What the fuck?
No idea what's going on there, but I love it.
He couldn't have made the song like I'm 63. Like, why 93? There was no Viagra back then.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
What the fuck? You know what he could use? He could use something like this if he turned back to that girl. He would have said, "You make me rock hard. Baby, all night. Love's like a glove, and it fits just right."
Oh, poetry.
Exactly. With that, everybody, thank you. We'll talk to you guys next week. We appreciate and love you guys out there. So thank you, Kiss Army.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you soon. Thanks again.
Peace out, Girl Scout.